Hi, I'm Neil Sackmary.
Hi, I'm State Trooper Sean Hagstrom with the Nevada State Police Highway Patrol Division, PEIO. Please stay tuned for the next episode of Trooper Talk.
And together, we can make a difference. Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios on this edition of Trooper Talk. We have Trooper Hagstrom, we have Officer McClarty, I'm Neil, and this is the dog. Okay. So, guys, listen, it's great to have you back.
Great to be back.
There's so many things to discuss, you know what I mean? And so many things that I want to go over, okay?
Sure.
So, now it's the time that people are now getting prepared to go back to school, okay? Whether it's college, whether it's, regular school or any of this type of thing. And so, what... And so, relax. What I want to discuss is the roadways and things of this nature, right?
Sure.
And then from your end, I want to talk a little bit about the recruiting, but also there's a lot of things that people in the parole and probation probably still have to prepare for their kids and things like that to go to school and things that, sometimes they need a little bit of help. And one of the things that the parole and probation department does is they help when someone is out. I met with someone 2 days ago that came to the store. He was a friend of a guy that I know, right? And he was inside. And so he said that he did that program with the Nevada State Police when he came out, and it was the thing that saved his life.
That's great.
That's
good to hear. Is that prisoner, the work release type program?
The thing with that cat, Major Munoz, right? I guess he is now.
Yeah, he's acting Major.
Right.
Correct.
So he's not Captain Munoz anymore, right?
Yeah.
But the Nevada State Police does wonderful things for people that are on the inside that want to come out and change their life. And one of the things that they can do is rely on someone like yourself so that you can answer questions for them so that they can change their life for a positive. And this particular guy came here because he's a very popular singer. Like, he does the country music and all that.
Oh, okay.
And so he talks about changing his life. Mm-hmm. And so we need people like this that made the wrong choice, but then they have positivity, and so they're able to then change someone else's life. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it was at Hope for Prisoners that he might have went there.
Right.
So it's a great opportunity for somebody to have resources when they get out of prison, or they've been, locked away for quite a while. Because most of the time, if somebody gets out, even like when you get out of the military, you might not have the experiences you need to be in like the civilian life, and it'd be similar to that situation where they need these resources for housing, jobs, counseling maybe, and anybody really just to talk to help point them in the direction that they need. And specifically, if Las Vegas is not a town that they're really used to, we can help point them in the directions for jobs and things that we can recommend that somebody that, if they need it, they can get it.
Yeah, and, Las Vegas as a city has a lot of things that can get you into bad situations. You know what I mean? When it comes to gambling and 24-hour bars, and you know what I mean? And all these type of things.
The temptations there.
The temptations.
Absolutely.
And so we need people that want to provide positivity to people that have found themselves in a situation where they need to change their life. And so it's something that's really wonderful about the parole and probation department. I think that people need to know that. You know what I'm
it's
saying?
good to hear stories that you've actually encountered somebody that had a good experience with.
Tremendous.
Not only one of our programs, because we do partner with the other agencies in the Valley, but a program that's helping people. Because now, like, that person's going to be able to, in a sense, like, touch somebody and be like, hey, this is the experiences that I had. This is how I got through it. Maybe you can follow suit and do the same thing.
And it's a life-changing event, Neil. I mean, But that's why they provide all these resources for them, because we want them to succeed when they get out. We don't want to just throw them out and say, hey, you're on your own. We want to provide those, not really like fundamentals, but options that they have, that once they get out of prison, they can, they'll get not, like help with housing, maybe financially, they can help them, assist them get a job in the future or something. Because sometimes it's hard to get a job once you get out of prison, having a felony or whatever. So there's other opportunities that they can look into to assisting them once they get out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was tremendous. And so he was telling me, like, Snoop Dogg and somebody else are covering his songs now.
Wow.
Like he was at the very bottom and is now getting into success. And part of that, which was really cool, was the fact that he doesn't want to go back to that lifestyle. Like, he's done with that. And so it was really wonderful to hear, because when I was talking to him, I said I do the Trooper Talk. And so he said, oh, well, they helped me and they changed my life.
And one of the things, too, for people that get out, a lot of times it's better just to get out of the place that you were always getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Like a new set of friends, and just change your whole lifestyle. Because usually if you go back to the same people that you hung out with, you know how that the birds of a feather flock together type thing. Of course. You're looking at maybe getting back on drugs or committing crimes again with that group that you usually hang out with. So sometimes it's better just to get away from all that and start fresh, a new career, a new life somewhere else. And sometimes a lot of these people can be supervised out of state, which McClarty could tell you, if they decide to go with relatives or out of state, they can set up something with parole and probation out of state. So that's another option that they can do once they get out.
Yeah. And I have something else to talk about, which, so I did something yesterday that I never do. Everybody in law enforcement, everybody has a favor, or can you help me, or can you fix a ticket for me? I make it a point in my life to never ask for favors. I find it to be very, very important that, when I have my friends that are in law enforcement, they're my friends, and it's not because they can help me or whatever. So I found out a guy that I was friends with for about 20 years. We had a falling out a couple of years ago. Is now dead. And he got killed driving to California, right? But he crossed over on, or not crossed over, there was a head-on collision. And so I understand that driving out to Pahrump and these type of places, there are roads that people travel at very high rates of speed.
Correct, yeah.
Right, and there are 2 lanes or whatever.
And that's what makes them most dangerous, Neil. Because you know what?
Right.
Even going 95, like the Tonopah, I think, I can't speak for our NDOT, but I think they're going to be doing some road changes down the road and probably expanding some of the roads or whatever to make it wide for passing. Because some of these areas, people they get tired behind these trucks, waiting, and they're backing up traffic. And the trucks, a lot of them are, people have to understand that a lot of these trucking companies, their trucks will only go 65 at top speed or something. So they're calibrated so their truck drivers don't speed, so they don't have those issues through their companies. So a lot of these long stretches, it'll back up traffic for a while, and people start getting antsy because they want to get around these trucks, and there's really no passing. You got to wait for the next passing. It might be miles away. Well, people take these chances, and a lot of it is no passing zones. And we have so many people take these chances. And I mean, they're passing cars that there might be a semi-truck and maybe 2 or 3 cars, and that 4th car is trying to pass all of them, speeding past them just to get by it, making it totally dangerous for everybody else. But not only that, in a no passing zone, and the reason we have no passing zones is either there's a hill or a curve coming up. It's just too dangerous, even just for one car to pass, and these people are taking chances, and then you hear about these head-on collisions.
Right, and
and there's nowhere to go, because if they go off to the desert, some of these culverts, it's not like straight desert from the roads. These roads are built up a little bit in some areas, so sometimes if they get off the road, they got a culvert. Guess what's going to happen if they panic and they swerve off that? They're going to hit that culvert, and it's going to roll the vehicle. And then you could probably possibly kill somebody that way too if they're trying to avoid a head-on. But we do get a few of these head-on collisions every year because people don't. It's not really, because I always discuss about plan ahead,
Right.
but you can't tell what's going to be on the roadway, and people are just in a hurry all the time. They need to slow it down. So hopefully, I always tell people just wait for that passing zone. But the thing is, I think things are going to be getting changed in the future to try to make it safer. Our state's always looking at safety first for everybody. You know, if you look at Mesquite, they're starting to put in concrete barriers north of the speedway, so it's separating 2 lanes to go out, so you can, because you always want to, it's always safer to have 2 lanes in each direction, so you don't risk people getting tired.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that a lot of these head-on collisions caused because of an impaired driver. There's a lot of them that are just tired drivers. They end up falling asleep or whatever, or drifting into the next lane and striking somebody. So that's one of the things where people need to plan ahead too, because, you know, hey, get enough sleep. Maybe you leave a little early, or only travel during the daytime.
Yeah.
Because night can be pretty dangerous also on that.
Yeah, and so I asked somebody from the IPOF, like, you know, because it was in California, right? Like, you know, and that's exactly what he said. He said that, you know, unfortunately, someone had veered into the, and that's it. And he said at the, you know, he can't obviously tell me all the things, right?
Sure, sure.
But
still
the
under
thing is, you know,
investigation.
he
probably.
said that you know, at these speeds, you know, at 70 miles an hour, when you have a head-on collision, like, that's it. He said there's no way to maneuver, and, you know,
It's so fast.
and so he said your
Yeah.
friend, like, had no chance of survival. And so the thing is that I want people to know that there are people that care for them and people that love them. And so we need people to not drive impaired, not do the drinking, you know, not do the speeding, you know, all these type of things, because they really have ramifications. And so in the death of when whatever happened with my friend, 2 other people lost their life too. And so I know from his end, he had a daughter, he had a wife. You know what I mean? And part of their GoFundMe thing, which I read last week, right, was that, you know, he's going to grow up without, like, she's not going to grow up with a father now. You know what I mean? And so,
well, it affects both families.
Like, and the opposite side, whoever was killed on that behalf. Does that make sense? And so when you're not on the planet anymore, it has ramifications for everyone.
Yeah, and since you're bringing that up with the speed and distracted driving, we don't know what really happened with that other driver. Sometimes they could have a medical episode or not paying attention. A lot of distractive driving going on out here.
That's what I'm saying. On a 2-lane road like that, it's probably very easy to just,
you know, all you have to do is reach down to get some food, or like we've talked about, turn a radio, and all of a sudden your car's in the next lane. You know, and it happens that fast.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to bring up, because you brought up school, we're always asking everybody, when you get around the school zone areas, slow down. I mean, we do have officers out there. Clark County Police do an excellent job enforcing the school, the school police enforcing traffic in those areas. But you know, always be mindful of those intersections, the yellow flashing lights. Slow down in those areas. We got a big problem with speed in the valley right now. In the last couple of weeks, I've probably stopped maybe 10 people trying to go to work, just for me going to work. And last night I was going home and I got somebody 103 and a 65 because he's late to go see his daughter play sports, and he's got to pick her up and then take her to high school, but he's run late. But he's zipping in and out of traffic, passes me doing over 100 miles an hour, and then I got to chase him down and stop him. But I've had most of the people I've out of those 10 are like all in the 90s, almost 100 on the I-215 and 65. Unacceptable. And I just want the public to know, if you get stopped for those speeds, now you're looking at reckless, because he's in and out, not using his turn signal, falling too close because they're trying to push cars out of the way. And then you add that speed. Anything over 40, you're looking at reckless anyways. And that's a $1,240 fine and 8 points. $1,240 fine, 8 points off your license. You got to think that you only have 12 points on your license, so that you're going to lose 8 points. But it all determines if you go to court, with the judge and everything. And he could fine you the whole thing or whatever, and then But do you want to take the chance with your insurance company having a reckless driving on your background for your license? Because that's just going to affect your insurance and everything else. So what I want to do is just tell people in the valley, please slow down. I mean, try to be mindful of others. There's other people out there. I mean, we can easily have a crash. I'll tell you a crash that we just had, a fatal collision involving a juvenile at I-215 in Jones. Reckless motorcycle. He's in and out of traffic, passing down the lanes, which is illegal.
Lane splitting.
He's lane splitting.
I hate it.
Yep, in and out, and driving reckless, high rate of speed. But you know how it's like an inchworm. We'll run fast for a while on these interstates, and then everything starts botching up, slowing. So what happened was all these vehicles start slowing down. He's doing heavy speed coming in and out of those vehicles, and then he's like, oh no, and he has to lay down the bike. And when you go to lay the bike down, you and the bike are both going. He's getting ejected, right? So now we have a juvenile that's no longer going to be able to go to school because he's out there driving reckless. And now you have some parents that, and friends and family and relatives that you're not going to see him on Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these holidays coming up because of bad choices, and that's one of the things I want to tell people is we have a speed problem out here in the valley, and we're trying to do as much as we can to curb it, but we have too many people that are just driving crazy out in the valley, and we want to try to slow that down. We are putting our motors are in different areas, all different areas. They can't be everywhere, but our motorcycles unit is doing an awesome job trying to slow everybody down out here, and but we still have this ongoing problem. We shouldn't have this. I see a lot. Sometimes I'll be driving to and from work, and I notice that everybody is driving pretty decent, but we got those one or two that are still passing everybody and getting crazy during the day. So we're just advising them, if you get stopped, it's going to be a reckless driving, especially at those speeds. So
and if somebody was to have reckless driving or something like that, especially resulting in death, I mean, somebody's going to prison. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then they come out and then they get to be on parole or probation, and then they get to spend time with you for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that fine and the points on their license, potentially they could either go to prison depending on the severity of the crime, and then probation as well. So you're going to have to deal with you being supervised by one of our officers for 3 to 5 years, potentially even more, paying supervision fees.
Paying supervision
right,
fees.
So on top of your payment for your reckless driving or
we never
whatever.
discussed it. They have to pay every month.
Right, they pay $30 for a supervision fee to the state.
Wow.
And then not to mention you might have restitution or something that in order for that crime they might have to pay to like a victim or something, that they pay an extra money towards helping out that person that crashed a car. Or,
you might have to pay for the car,
hospital
as far
bills, something like that. So they might be ordered to pay restitution. So that's an additional fee that they have to pay. I mean, not only just to take the money out of it, right? You're affecting your life because you've maybe hurt somebody, you're hurting yourself, the mental,
your time, your time from away from work,
right? So
everything.
You're dealing with a lot more than just money, right? And it's a decision that creates all these other issues you're going to have to deal with now, just because and really, if you think about it, going 100 miles an hour or 65, how many minutes are you even cutting off?
Yeah, we talked many times about that. I mean, you're not really making that much time, and then you're going to have to slow down, speed up, because of people in traffic.
Yeah.
That's what makes you reckless, is them going in and out of traffic, trying to beat everybody, trying to get somewhere fast. And we've talked on your show numerous times. What we talk about? Planning ahead. I had a conversation with somebody who pulled over last week, and he's running late for work. And I said, you didn't plan ahead? Why don't you leave early so you don't have to be putting others' lives in jeopardy driving the way you are? You know what I mean? So, just
plan ahead.
Plan ahead. I mean, I don't know what else to really give good advice. I'm always saying, hey, be mindful of others. That's one of my biggest ones, because we have to think about other people. And that's one of the reasons I always bring this up on the show. It's just not you. Don't be selfish. there's other people that have families and lives out there. So you're affecting everything if something does happen. So
when I went for my drive on Sunday, right around on the 215, there's those two big steep roads that you can go down
by Cheyenne, and then the
down
other
by
one
Cheyenne, right down by the memorial by the Metro Memorial Park there, right?
And then Low Mountain's the second one. I always call them
Right.
the two downs.
Okay, so yes, so when I went for my drive on Sunday, I was driving, and all of a sudden my car was speeding up as I was driving down the hill, and I thought of Lieutenant White, and I saw the speedometer, and it kept rising and rising and rising, and I looked down like, ooh, you know what I mean? And so it's very easy to go fast. I don't think that people realize how easy it is. Doesn't matter what kind of car you drive, to depress on the gas pedal.
Sure.
And so we need people to depress on the brake so that they can slow down.
And you know what? I catch myself all the time. I always watch that area when I'm going down because of the weight of your car, and it's steep. So guess what? You're at the speed limit, and all of a sudden it's going 5, 10 more. You know what I mean? So I'm always tapping my brakes, like, okay, because it's easy to go down those hills pretty fast.
Not like you, Officer McClarty, who has the ghost car with that people drive past at 100 miles an hour all the time because they're like, they don't recognize that your car actually is a police car and actually has lights. You know what I'm saying? At least with his Mustang, they don't understand that it's a Mustang until they're blow past them at 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a good thing too.
Right.
Yeah, because you can't see
pretty fast.
You can't see the push bumper from the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. 100%. America's best. What does it say?
There isn't even a
Make
push bumper on
history.
there.
Cruiser contest. What's
Leave
that?
a legacy.
There's not even a push bumper. I didn't see that.
No, not on that new Mustang.
Yeah. So no wonder nobody sees you.
They blow past him like nothing.
Yeah.
And you want to know what's crazy is that when we did that thing a couple weeks ago where you were behind me, right? Even you behind me, you can't even like when you're right behind me. It looks like a brand new Mustang. Like it doesn't even look like.
I think more people are getting familiar with it with my stops, and then sometimes I'll have somebody speeding up that they're not really at that speed yet, but I see them picking it up, and I'll hit that rear lights, and they're like, oh, you know what I mean, and they'll back off quite a bit. But hey, tell you a little bit about this.
Yeah, tell me.
This is the America's Best Looking Cruiser contest, and this is the American Association of State Troopers that puts this on every year, and they have a calendar.
Yes.
So out of the 49 states that we have state troopers in,
Yes.
We always try to make it in the calendar. The top 12 always make it in the calendar.
Oh, this was the vote thing.
This was for voting for the best cruiser.
Oh.
So you got to think.
We did the vote.
Florida won again. I mean, I got to tell you, they did a good job last year. What they did is they put their cruiser out in Gatorland. I mean, a lot of people that took their kids to Disneyland and Gatorland, you can feed the gators, like put meat up. So they had a gator in front of their cruiser, and then a guy with some meat, and they were taking some pictures, and the gator's raising his head and everything. It was a great photo. That was the year before. And then this year, they had their cruiser in front of a space shuttle taking off. You know what I mean? So, and then you got to think the state is 40-some million people, and we're like almost 3, 4 million, not even that for our state. So we got third place, and we've done it twice in a row. But I have plans for next year. We're going to win it next year for sure. I got the ultimate. I don't want to put it on camera yet, but we're working on it, and it's going to be phenomenal. So something about this is the brand new 2024 Mustang.
Yes.
And this is our 75th anniversary year for the Highway Patrol this year. So and the reason a lot of people think, well, Highway Patrol is older than Nevada State Police, and it is, because in 1908, the Nevada State Police, that's when we became the actual Nevada State Police. But in 1949, the legislature changed this to Nevada Highway Patrol. So this year is our 75th anniversary, so they wanted to put together both cars together. This is our last Mustang that we had, and this is a 1991 Mustang for the Highway Patrol. So we kind of wanted to do a ceremonial thing with both Mustangs at the Circa Casino down there celebrating our 75th. So this is the photo that we submitted. But we want to tell everybody out there that voted for us, thank you so much. I mean, it means a lot to us. We got third out of, you'd think California or New York and all these other ones would be like in the top 5. And we got like number 3, which is amazing because you got to think CHP has like 7,000 officers. And if each officer and his wife voted, that'd be like 14,000 right there. You know what I mean?
Just right.
But without the public's help, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think we did a tremendous job. I think there's a lot of pride in our community because we've gotten 3rd place 2 years in a row. But hopefully next year we're really bumping it up, and I'm hoping to take the whole thing next year.
Right.
So
And
we got some good plans going.
And so that was the voteNSP.com.
Correct.
That we put on there to do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yep.
And Officer McClarty, what do you think? You think when he gets in the Mustang, he just has a big smile on his face like he's 16 again, right? I mean, he's in that thing like in a brand new Mustang, right?
Just a nice
car.
car.
I think so.
It's a nice car.
Just rolling. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
it's
saying?
nice.
I mean, the funny part about it is when you're young, you know, you're like, I'm not going to drive fast, right? Because you know you don't want to get pulled over. And now you have this great car, and people just don't care, and they just blow past you at 100 miles
And
an hour.
I can't even drive fast, which is a sad thing because everybody's looking at my car, right? So I mean, I can't even have fun, you know. So it's ironic there, right? So yeah.
And one of the most wonderful things, Officer McClarty, is the different things that you can do inside of the Nevada State Police. It's not just the highway patrol, right? So talk to us about the fact of what's been happening with the recruiting over the past. We haven't seen you in a little bit.
I'm glad
and
you're
stuff
asking
like
that because I wanted to bring that
right,
up next.
because
so.
because here's what I can tell you before you start that. My friend, with Officer McClarty's help, did the dispatch. He just graduated from high school.
Okay.
My buddy's my friend's son, and Officer McClarty, you know, got him for the dispatch because he's not 21, right? And he went and he had the greatest time. He said that everybody was like wonderful, you know what I mean? Like when he did it, and you know, like it's really positive. And so I think that there's a lot of people that are younger that don't have a career path, or in today's world, I saw a new thing that it was like $304,000 to go to college for 4 years. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of money where a lot of people can't do that, and so they're looking for a career
that you can actually have a retirement
that
for
you
life
can actually
when you
have
get
a
done.
retirement and stuff. So talk to us about the recruiting. I'm anxious to hear.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to cost you $304,000 to put in an application with us, right?
That's right.
And then added benefits too, right? So you get to pick where you want to work, really. You can be a parole and probation officer, highway patrol trooper, Capitol Police officer. Is just the 3 divisions you can start off with us. We have other divisions too that you can eventually transfer to, like Nevada Department of Investigation. So those are like our state investigators or detectives, right? And dignitary protection. So Trooper Hackstrom's done that before, where you're the security or the police officers for the governor. So you got a lot of opportunities there to travel and meet new people and get a lot of experience where, you know, a regular officer probably wouldn't have anywhere close to that experience. And then state fire marshals too. So you have all these opportunities with us, whereas like a different agency, like a local agency, you're going to be a beat cop or a regular officer for quite a bit of time. Because most of the time, those agencies have a lot more people. In their investigative divisions, you don't really get into those until like maybe you're 15, 12 to 15, and then that's like the tail end of your career. So maybe you're there for 5 years when you cut out at 20. But with us, like you're eligible to transfer to a different division after 2 years. So if there's an opening in one of those divisions and you have the ability to interview for it, you might have, you know, taken some classes and things like that to boost up your resume, and you interview well, you can transfer to one of our other divisions that we have.
And when it comes to the recruiting, you have, so now it's the end of August, right? So what is your recruiting schedule for, like, let's say the month of the end of August and then the month of September?
So our next Las Vegas Academy starts September 30th.
Okay.
And
so
he has 20 people.
Right. So right now I have 21. I'm going to count them. Right.
Okay.
One of my cadets is going to get deployed, so he's going to miss out on this direct academy. but then he's going to be rolled over into the next one.
Okay.
Okay.
So 21. I got 21.
I got you.
21. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But as far as like
What is the mix? Can I ask, or you not know of parole and probation versus highway patrol?
yes, so I have 21. It's 10 and 11. So 10 highway,
Okay.
11 parole and probation.
So that's cool. So it's
Yeah,
a mix
half-
of
half
both.
and
Okay.
half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Which I haven't had happen. So usually it's a little bit like the scale's a little bit tipped, whereas highway patrol has a lot more, maybe by 5 or 6, and then
And it can
probation.
flip flop.
Yeah, it flip flops, and it's weird
academy,
too because
yeah.
at the beginning of the like recruiting of maybe this year after this last academy started, you kind of like hit it hard to get as many people as you can because the process takes a while. So this last time I had like no parole and probation officers, and I was like, wow, this is this is not good, right? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, which is weird because I am a parole and probation officer. I must not be recruiting very well for them. So I didn't understand what was going on. But then once I had quite a few highway patrol troopers cadets in there, all of a sudden it was like a whole bunch of parole and probation candidates made it through backgrounds, and I'm like, now the scale tipped back up. So
Yeah,
it just
you're
kind
like
of depends
50-50 for each one.
Yeah.
Not counting the other one.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
perfect.
And then we still have potential for a couple more because we have another 20 days or so. So I might end up with a couple more in there.
And is it too? So it's too late now for someone to get through the background and then.
Yeah,
join
for our
that
September
for
Academy,
September?
there's no way because you still have to come out and test, do the fitness exam, written test. You have a polygraph. You got to go through backgrounds, and then you got to get scheduled for your medical appointments. So like your physical exam, your psychological, and then drug tests too.
And then when is the one after this then?
So that one will
Be
be
in
roughly
January?
about 7 months from now. So I want to say like end of end of May, early June.
End of May.
And then we have our Carson City Academy that started June 10th of this year, and there won't be another one up there until around March.
So this gives people plenty of time to get ready.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they need to get ready, like physically or anything else, they can also contact Douglas. He's there to help you out,
Yeah.
send you in the right direction, so you can not only be motivated but get ready for that academy coming up.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's not because the thing is that I don't know really what people's perception is, but the job is not easy. It's not like, all I do is drive around in a car and write tickets, or, for you, all I do is drive around and go to somebody's house and make sure they're there. The job is difficult. Not only it's difficult for the taxing on the mind, because you have to be mentally strong, it's a job.
But there's a lot of job
and
functions
so-
within it.
Right,
Absolutely.
and so it's very important that people that want to do this type of job, they have to be on their A game, right? So like it's very important because you have the not opportunity, but you're dealing with someone's life, and so you want to ensure that you're doing everything to the best of your ability. And on your behalf, when you're pulling somebody over, or you're taking care of the highway patrol end of things, or you're talking to the media, you know what I mean? Like you have to be on your A game because you're providing information, and so it's very, very important. So
Absolutely.
that's great, and I'm glad for this. Third place is fantastic. You know what I mean?
We'll take it. Top 3 in the nation.
yeah.
You got to think that's in the entire nation.
No,
So
it's
that's
fantastic.
awesome.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so, did you drive the other one?
I didn't. In matter of fact, in a future show, I'm trying to get the owner of this is actually an active lieutenant up in Central Nevada, and I'm trying
And
to
he
get.
owns that.
He does. Yeah. This is in his garage of many things. I mean, he collects all the highway patrol memorabilia, and I'm gonna try to get him on the show. I was gonna talk to him yesterday. We're gonna try to line him up to get him in here to talk about the 75th. We want to do a whole program about the highway patrol, and he can talk about the history, everything. Very knowledgeable. Loves the highway patrol like no other, and I
Yeah.
want to get him on the show. So I
That's
think
cool.
it'd be kind of cool for people to listen to him and hear some of the aspects of people who came before him and his career. And he's still on the job and loves it. So we'll try to get him on.
Does he drive the car?
Yeah, once in a while. I mean, he can't. It's not made so he can make stops,
right.
but he'll drive it to like functions,
car
like
shows and
car
stuff like
shows
that,
and all
right.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, loves it.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity. They're very fast, those old little
Oh, they
Mustangs.
are very fast.
You know what I'm saying?
Very fast.
What, you want to be... It's not your turn to be on the TV yet. All right. Trooper Micah May was actually passed away on the same day as the lieutenant.
Okay.
And so we always want to pay tribute.
Yeah, and this is Trooper Michael May. He was killed by an impaired driver. That was in process. I think it was a pursuit or whatever, and they tried to stop him, and that person was impaired and ended up striking our trooper and killing him. So every year we have what's called Michael May. It's called May Not Drive Impaired, and we have a joining forces group. And this year we had 5 other agencies, and it was statewide because we had our Highway Patrol in Central and Northern Command also do it on the weekend. This was several weekends ago, and we ended up getting 200, I don't have the stats in front of me, but 289 traffic citations for different things, from red light runners to shoulder runners to, distracted driving. And then I think we made around 33 DUI arrests on the weekend. So it was a combined effort. We had Las Vegas Metro, North Las Vegas. We had Henderson PD and Boulder City and the Clark County Police Department, the school police. And they all worked with us on a weekend, several weekends ago, to do this in tribute of Michael May getting DUIs off the road. And we were very successful over the weekend getting that many DUIs. So.
When this happened, I forget the I think he was the lieutenant or the sergeant, but when he came, and that was when Joanna May went out the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember he did the thing at headquarters. He talked all about it and stuff, and he had his taser. I think it was like over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so it was very weird to see a lieutenant or something, with all of his gear on, but he was going because he was getting ready to go out that night.
To assist with that,
and to take care of these people.
Because and this is our third one, Neil. So we had a combination of our mostly our graveyard and some swing shift personnel that went out there and went it. And just like I said, the lieutenant you were probably talking about also went out there and worked it too.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. We always remember our own troopers, always pay tribute. And I'm glad that we still do this, and we're still pulling off DUIs, having these DUI. I know I can't speak for Metro, but I know they do have DUI strike team forces, on some weekends, and they do very well too. So, but you got to think this is, I don't want to say it's a target-rich environment, but we do have a lot of people that we try to educate them, on what we're doing now, is don't drive impaired. I mean, there's just too many, there's no excuse for it. There's too many other options of not getting in your car. So we don't want people to be out there driving and using either drugs, poly drugs, marijuana, or alcohol while getting on our roadways here in the Vegas Valley.
And Officer McClarty, these type of people could have a normal life, and then all of a sudden, now they get on parole and probation, and they maybe can't drink, maybe can't go places, maybe can't leave the state. All these stipulations that a judge can put onto someone where they can't live their normal life anymore because someone tried to do something and they made the wrong choice. And so the police are there to help, and so when someone sees that badge and they ask them to come over, I watch that show all the time on the weekends, right? All the time people are getting pulled over and they, the police say, can you please step, can you please come out? And they go, no, I'm not getting out of my car, or I'm not getting out of here, and they go, please just, I'm not being nasty. You know what I'm saying? Just please do me a favor, please. And they're like, no, I'm not doing this, or no, I'm not doing this. The police are our friends. And so the thing is that it's very important that people know that that badge means that you care and that you do the job that you do because it is that you care about the people that you supervise. And so it's very important because those are the type of people that we're looking for as well when it comes to the recruiting, right?
Right, and specifically talking about somebody that's driving impaired, and they end up on parole and probation, one of those supervision routes. For us, it's we want them to recognize what they did wrong. One, recognize that being in the wrong, you have to identify that you actually did that, right? You have to identify that there's some things like growth, personal growth that you have to go through, whether that's changing your lifestyle, changing your personality in a way, some traits, maybe hanging out with better people, so that you don't continue to do the same things day in and day out of the rest of your life. So we try to advise them, on. I would help somebody even with a resume. So if somebody came to me and they were having an issue finding a job, I would probably help them with a resume if they really wanted me to, because I want them to succeed. I want them to be a better person because our ultimate goal is for them to be better, one, and then two, like they don't do that again. Now it makes other people safe too. So they don't end up doing that same thing again, endangering somebody else's life. Because sometimes the people that get caught for a DUI, it's not their first time. It's maybe their fifth or sixth time, and it just happened to be this instance that they got caught, right?
Yeah.
So now, like, it's pure luck at that point that they didn't hit somebody the first 5 times, and then now the 6th time it happened. So if you can imagine, there would be a lot more lives lost, lot more injuries involved if every time they went out and did committed a DUI that they hurt somebody. But it just, happenstance that that 6th time or 7th time they hit somebody.
Yeah, and we need to stop these people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because they just like you said, if there was a ramification on that first time, then they wouldn't do it the 5th or 6th time.
Yeah, you would hope so.
And there's a lot of people that in today's world, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And the thing is that we live in a place where people can take Uber, take cabs. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I don't know how much a cheap hotel room is. I'm sure on the Strip they're very expensive, but I'm just saying that there's things that can be done so that people don't have to travel on the roadways while they're impaired.
Yeah. There's always something available.
There's
always, even a
always
friend or
something
anything. So, and I wanted to, when I was talking about the lieutenant, because I kind of got distracted when you started saying about the taser on the side and the lieutenant going out, and I wanted to add him on there. But also for this third, Joanna May, the widow of Michael May, this is the third one. She always goes out with an officer, and she went with Trooper Slater that we know very well, and they ended up getting 2 DUIs that evening. So she got to ride along with them, and that's one of the things that she likes to do is for this event. She likes to ride with one of our troopers and actually see them out there getting DUIs off the road.
We love Trooper Slater.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I wonder if he's going to win again this year.
Well, he just had a child, baby Colin.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a little boy, baby boy. So. Yeah.
And I'm sure.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Slater.
And I'm sure once you have children, that those things make like even more. Like we know how he's always out there trying to get these people for the DUIs and all that type of stuff. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, he has the children like little kids like you, and so you're like, I don't want people traveling the roadways because when I'm out with my family in my personal car, like you know what I mean.
Oh, when you have kids, it changes everything. You know that.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what. I don't think he's going to be on leave that long because he told me he's etching to get back out there. But it's good that we have those people that really care because what he's doing is actually saving lives, and that's his job. I mean, that's all of our jobs actually, if you think about it. He's here to re-educate them and make sure that they don't go down that wrong path again and get them on the right path. And we're there to try to prevent it and then take action if something does happen. So. But our main goal is to protect society and make sure that everybody is safe out there, and that's what we're trying to do daily. So.
I could only imagine what Joanna May would feel, knowing that a person was like this right back there that just committed a DUI, and that's why she doesn't have her husband.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it just really hits home.
It
If
really,
people,
it really does. And so,
and I always tell people too, you know, a lot of people get on these campaigns and stuff because it affects them. But you got to think of all the people that are still doing it, and the only reason they do it is because they haven't been affected personally, because they're selfish.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They're out there just running. I say running with the devil, just doing whatever they want to do, and they don't care about anybody else. But we are a society, and we are a nation of laws, and we do have to abide by it, so we don't have chaos, and we don't have all this death and destruction that is always going on. So, you know, everybody when they go home every night, they want to see their families. They want to make sure it's safe, whether you're at home or on the roads out here. So that's one of our primary jobs, is to make sure that you enjoy your family and that you're able to go home safely every day. So.
Right. And I get to the next picture, but it's just like like you said, that the high school student isn't going to come back.
It's
you know
sad, very
you know
sad.
What I mean? Like,
and he's just starting his life because he's making the wrong decisions. You know?
Unbelievable. All right, look at this. Didn't we talk about when we were here, like the last time or something, that we were going to show these things more?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So this is great. So a probation violation. So explain to us what that, not this specific, but what is a probation violation? What does that terminology mean?
Okay, so probation violation is somebody violating the conditions of their court-ordered probation, right? So you have, I forgot the number, but there's a certain number, and it depends on the person that the court provides them with conditions they have to abide by while they're on probation.
Okay. Like
so,
no drinking.
Right. So
or
let's
no,
just say something, because this one I
Right.
don't know it specifically,
Right.
but I'll tell you right now. Last seen in Las Vegas, that means she's not here anymore. So what that is residence. So residence is one of the conditions they have to abide by reporting their place of residence, where they live at.
Oh.
So if they update it, one, they have to get permission in a way to let us know who are they going to be staying with, because they can't be hanging out with convicted felons and things like that. So we have to keep we try to keep their inner circle better for them, so they can, in a way, integrate back into society without doing the same things again, right?
Okay.
So this person potentially has a few other violations, but just reading this, she's wanted. So it's somebody that hasn't reported their residence, or did and no longer lives there. So now there's probably a warrant out for her arrest, in which, creates this.
And that's like a whole thing. So right. So now, if this person has a warrant, so now they have to be, they get rearrested.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to go see the judge again.
Yes.
And then the judge says you're already on probation.
They're going to end up serving the rest of their
Right.
time.
Right. So
Like
what will happen is when they get arrested, it'll be for probation violation, right? So that'll be their essential charge. And what that does, it triggers the courts to say, hey, this person's going to see the judge again, same judge that maybe sentenced them, or at least same courtroom district, right? They say, hey, you've been on probation. These are the violations that you have, because we have to write a report of the good and the bad of what they've done on supervision. So maybe she did some good things at the very beginning, and then something happened in there midway through their supervision, or even at the very beginning. Maybe they did a couple and then just fell off the tracks. But they'll see the judge. They'll be able to explain why they've done these things, and then also the state, parole and probation, are going to be explaining what they wrote on the report, the good, bad, and the ugly on there, of saying, hey, they completed their counseling, they were doing really well, but then all of a sudden she disappeared, or whatever the story is. But it's not all bad all the time. So we get to write the good things too, but sometimes you get overshadowed by somebody that just takes off and just doesn't report anymore, and is not abiding by the other conditions that she has to have.
And we talked one time. So the probation is, so you got in trouble for whatever the reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, not specifically this case, right? So you got in trouble, and the judge said, okay, we're going to give you probation so you don't have to serve whatever sentence it might be, right?
Yep.
But then, just like you said, maybe then you violated that probation, so now maybe you might have to serve this, whatever that judge said we were going to give you a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that
Yeah,
not
that's right.
not
So
putting words in your
if
mouth,
somebody
right?
goes to the court and they got arrested for something, and the judge decides to put them on probation, so that's in lieu of going to prison, right? So instead of, in other words, right? But they still have what they call an underlying sentence that kind of, in a way, hangs over their head, saying if you don't complete your probation honorably, you can potentially do this number of years or months in prison if you don't do your probation, right? So if this person, had more bad than good on her violation report, she already had a warrant, she gets arrested again, the judge could then say, hey, you don't rate, or you don't deserve, in a way, because of your actions, your behavior, because we gave you the chance, right? And this might be her second or third chance or something, right? And most of the time, the judge and the court will give them, more than one chance, right? They'll be in front of them, maybe if they got arrested a couple times, because we violated them on a few of their conditions because they didn't complete anything. I thought I had a bug on me. I felt the mic. So then they'll say, hey, you know what? You've had all these chances. This is what the parole and probation, the state has done for you. They've taken you to counseling. They've, referred these jobs. They've tried to deter bad behavior by weekly reporting, multiple drug tests, taking you to detox, just to name a few. Then maybe they'll go serve that sentence that they had in lieu of, and actually have to do that in prison now.
Yeah, and in this whole meantime, right? Because so I watched this new show. It's about the courts, right? It's on, and so it's where they go inside the courts and they show the people that have gotten in trouble, right? And they're in the jail. They're they're serving 180 days waiting for the next trial date. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
if it's not honky dory, like, oh, they're just going to let you out again. And so it's very important that if you get into a situation like this, that you just sort of follow the lead of what you're trying to do, because essentially you're just trying to help them.
Right, and there's also incentives too. So depending on your level of supervision, you have the ability to actually get off early. And how to do that is like paying your fees that you have, your monthly supervision fees, paying off any restitution to any victims that you had in your case, doing all the court order conditions like your counseling, getting a job, getting a GED, things like that. If you complete all that stuff, you have the potential that we can submit something to the judge and say, hey, this person has done a great job on probation. They've served at least half their time, or I think 1 year. And then now they've already completed all this stuff. And then now you go in front of the judge and say, hey, this is eligible for an early discharge. And then you kind of put it out there saying, we recommend it because of all these conditions that they completed. So they have the ability to get off early too. And that's just by following, directives and the rules, and showing that, you've learned from your mistake. You're not going to do it again. You've done all these things to get better as a person.
That's cool.
And then move forward.
Because I never knew that, and so that's cool, because it shows that because I'm sure there are people that make a mistake and they go, I just want to figure out how to get done this as soon as I possibly can.
Well, they want you to succeed, though.
I
mean,
so
this
isn't
set up to fail. You know what I mean? The only one that fails is yourself. I mean, they're putting it on you to get this done, and once you complete those programs, like you said, when you get it done early, you're done. They can put you in for getting an early release from the probation, which is excellent. But everybody wants to improve and make sure that you don't have to go down that road. They want you to get out. So
yeah, and that's what's really important. I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, I had nothing else.
Oh, okay.
I might have just made a noise or something.
Okay, I was just gonna say that like that's what's important. You know what I mean? That that the Nevada State Police is there to help in every single way, and when it comes to the same thing with the pulling someone over, right, which is what we hear by everybody who works for the Highway Patrol, they say, from even when Lieutenant White was here, I had a conversation with someone. You know what I mean? It's not it's not a matter of just, you did something wrong. It's, you might have done something wrong, but let me explain this to you so that we're not in this situation again.
Absolutely. And it's an educational thing. When you pull somebody over, we're not just mean guys that just, here's your ticket, pay it. We want to explain everything that happened. This is the reason why you're getting stopped. And then you'll ask them, hey, why are you driving this way? And sometimes, you know, there might be something that came up and you listen to, and you can probably say, hey, I'm gonna let you go down the road with a warning, but I don't want to. We got you in our system, but just don't do it again, or you're gonna get a ticket.
Right. So
You know
I've
what I
seen
mean?
that
So,
before,
yeah,
where they give you
absolutely.
the warning and they say, "Listen,
Mm-hmm.
you're now in the system."
Mm-hmm.
And we wrote down warning. So if you get caught again, because like you
And
know,
it tells you what it's for, too.
You had a suspended driver's license, and we're like, all right, we're gonna let you drive home, but I'm telling you now, if I catch you
Your car's
again,
getting
you're
towed.
done.
There-
Your
yeah.
car's getting towed.
get
You're
arrested.
going to jail. Yeah,
Yep.
there's no question.
I
And
mean,
so-
we give breaks all the time. People just don't understand that. We're not out there just writing tickets constantly. But that is, you know, a lot of us that go out there, that's what we do. That, you know, that's part of our job. But our main thing is, it's not like some people probably think, oh, we're trying to get money for the county or the state. You know,
Right.
it's nothing like that. It's to save other people from your bad driving practices or things that you do wrong that can cause major crashes or somebody to get killed. And that's why we're out there every day hitting the streets trying to make sure. But the main thing is education. We're educating people. You know what I mean? The worst thing is, I've always told somebody, you know, yeah, you could probably beat me up, but what's going to hurt me worse is in the pocketbook. Remember, that's when people remember, you know, when you start getting these fines and you're driving 20, 30 miles an hour, 30 over the speed limit, and they don't write you for reckless, but then they write you, and you're looking at $600-700 ticket. You know what I mean? That hurts. You know what I mean?
can't even
I mean,
imagine.
it's just, so we don't want. We'd rather educate you and tell you, hey, plan ahead, leave early. Don't be driving like this. You know what I mean? It's not beneficial for you in the long run.
And
So.
and those points, we've talked before. Like I don't think I've had a speeding ticket, and you know what I mean, because I don't drive fast.
Mhm.
But like $600-700, and to think that that's going to the insurance agency, and that insurance agency is going to raise my rates. And
we already
we
have the
pay
highest in
enough,
the-
right?
We already have the highest in the country, and I've read many things that our state is the highest for everything, just to drive a vehicle.
Yeah.
Not only insurance, but I mean just paying for everything. You know, when you're factoring gas and everything else, we're one of the highest states to own a vehicle. So you don't need this extra, you know, issues when, you know, so why even, and then when we were talking before, if you're driving that fast, does it really save you that much time? You know what I mean? Because you got to go, you got to slow down, speed up, slow down. What are you saving? 5-10 minutes by doing 30 over the speed limit? And is it worth putting your life or somebody else's life in danger? I mean, it's a no-brainer just to
And I know from
drive
my end,
safe.
when you drive fast, right? What are you doing? Is you're driving fast and you're looking in the rearview mirror to make sure there's no cops behind you, or you're looking in front of you, and so you're not paying attention to the road. Thanks a lot. You know what I mean? I think it's really wonderful. It's wonderful to see both of you guys. You know,
It's good to see you.
It's something that I really look forward to. You know, it's something that I really like. I enjoy. It's great to hang out with you guys and spend time. And I want people to always know that you guys are just regular guys. You know what I mean? And so, like, you know, you're family men, you know what I mean? And you go and you hang out and you do funny things, and you know what I mean, and all that type of stuff. But
Living
but,
life.
but
Yeah,
when you
absolutely.
when you have to do work, it's very important you follow the law. And so it's very important. So what do you have for final words?
Well, hey, we're still hiring. So and we just talked about that academy coming up.
There you go.
So if you're looking at, you always thought about being a state trooper, one of Nevada's finest,
Yes.
or a parole and probation officer. Not putting that down or anything.
Right,
No, just kidding.
50-50. Don't
Yep,
forget
50,
11
50,
versus
50.
10 this month.
That's right.
Well, if
But
proper way, we just say Nevada State is Nevada's finest, right?
that's
Nevada
right.
State.
We'll include everybody.
Because we are the
Nevada
Nevada State Police.
Right,
That's
there
right.
you go.
So yeah, if you're looking and you always thought you wanted to do it and never thought, hey, I don't know if I can do this because of my age or anything else. We don't have an age limit as long as you can pass all the tests, the required tests and everything. But you can do a ride along. You can see we got civilian positions like dispatchers. So we're always hiring. We're looking at hiring, and we got one of the best recruiters in the state right here with us all the time, Douglas. He's awesome. Yeah. So go to www.nevadastatepolice.com, nevadastatepolice.com, and we're always looking for young people to get in this job, so you have a lengthy career, and when you get done, you'll have good benefits and a retirement the rest of your life. I mean, you can't beat it.
Right in there. What's your recruitment
I
message?
can't beat what he just
I'm
said.
just saying.
The
You
best
know what
recruiter
I'm
in the
saying?
state. That's it. I'm going to leave it right there.
He's going to leave it right
Hey,
there.
listen.
I don't want to ruin that.
Didn't you get one person for the recruitment?
You know, I tried to get a few, but I don't know if they really worked out. One of my guys, I think, decided
At least I got
at the
somebody
end.
to go for the dispatcher.
I know.
I'm one over here.
I'm still working on it.
I want to let you know, too, that
I got a couple more, though.
I actually met your person, too, in person.
Yes,
Not
you
just
did.
over the phone.
Yes,
That's
you
good.
did. You know what? Let me tell you this. He went to the hiring thing that they did,
Oh, cool.
and he was able to talk to Officer McClarty. And what was the gentleman for the other gentleman for the dispatch?
It was Christopher.
Chris. And,
cool,
and
okay.
I'm telling you, like, a young man, not to say very scared, but, you know, like just starting out on his own. You know, not on, like, you know what I mean? Like starting out his life. And so he had a great experience, you know what I mean? And one of the best things about it was that I was able to talk to Officer McClarty and say, you know, when can he meet you? And he got him in a little bit early so he could, because he had somewhere to be. And so I will tell you that he is between firefighting and doing this.
Well,
But the thing is that when it comes to the firefighting, it's not like the dispatch. And so he really liked the dispatch. Like, he thought it was very cool. And, you know, the thing that I explained to him was that it's very simple. You're young. You're 18.
you still got
You know what
plenty
I mean?
of time to figure out what
Work,
you want to do.
Work for 30 years. At 48 years old, you're done.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no
Yeah.
messing around. You know, you have great benefits. You have benefits for your whole life.
Well, and we're getting a lot
so-
of people from the military right now, and I want to put that out there too.
Yeah.
If we got that, what's it called? Bridge
Skill
Bridge.
Yep.
Where they can, like, 180 days out from
Up to
leaving the
180
service.
days, yeah.
They can come over and start working for us until we get the academy going. So I'm already meeting several military people that are leaving Nellis or whatever that want to work for us, and we're looking forward to that. And I love to hear that you're telling me that your friend loves that. I mean, that's great. That's great.
Like, he really thought it was cool. And so what I will tell you is one of the I have his phone number so I can ask him a question, but he has his phone number on the web, and you know what I mean, like, so somebody can ask him a question.
Oh, sure.
And I will tell you that when it was time that he didn't, because he's young and he didn't have all the references, I just asked him the question. What is a young guy supposed to do? And he's like, this is exactly what you're supposed to do. And so it was really wonderful.
It's eye-opening,
because
yeah. That's good.
you normally don't get access to a recruiter or someone that can answer your questions. So you're sort of like, well, we'll get back to you in a couple weeks, and, you know, send in an email and we'll figure it out. And so it was great.
That's
And
why
so-
he's the
and so-
best recruiter in the state,
best, the
because you know what? He makes himself available.
Yes.
And he's always there for everybody. He wants to make sure that everybody succeeds getting through the academy process, as far as, you know, getting all your schedules and doing everything you need to do before an academy starts. So, and then at least you know if you're going to be ready when that
Right.
academy starts.
No,
to
it's
start from
fantastic.
there.
So we took over all your talking. What else? Do you have anything to
sorry.
add on there at the end, or are you just going to say hello to the dog and that's it?
No, I mean, as a recruiter, I like to put like my personal touch on it, to where I give advice, you know, throughout the hiring process, no matter what part of the process you're at. But on one side too, like, I'm going to give you advice, but the people that are coming through have to do it on their own, right?
Right.
I'm going to give advice as much as I can to give you the ability to have the confidence to go through all the you know, there's all kinds of
all
like
the
hurdles,
tests and
right?
everything, right?
But like, we're looking for people that are going to be self-sufficient too. So like, you can take the advice, but what are you going to do with it, right?
right.
I need the people that are going to, you know, be able to ask the questions, because questions are great, because you're going to get answers, you're going to get knowledge, right? You're going to be better as a person by asking questions and getting the answers that you need. But then also, on the other hand, like, we need people that are going to be self-sufficient to be able to ask those questions, take the information that they get, and then, you know, use it, right? but on the other hand too, like I want to be there to be able to help you, but also too I want you to learn, right, and get better.
Right.
Because when you're on your own, you're
I'm not
going to be doing it yourself.
I'm not going to essentially be able to hold your hand through the entire process because it's you going through the process, not me.
Right.
I've done it already. I didn't have the luxury of having a recruiter, right? I just had, the ability to, ask questions, decipher information, and put all my information in there and get through it.
Right. And that is important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the person that wants to join the Nevada State Police has to want it in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so you'll give them everything that they need to succeed.
Yeah.
But that person has to.
Because even the academy, you're going to have your academy mates and your coworkers essentially helping you through the process, but you're going to be the one taking the tests. You're going to be the one doing the scenarios by yourself. So it's going to be your ability,
to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're going to learn teamwork, but when you get out on your job on your own, you're it.
Yeah, that's
you're
it.
going to be making all those decisions. You're not going to have somebody else, especially when you're a state trooper or a parole and probation officer. We don't work in teams of two. It's you're doing everything yourself. So you have to be self-sufficient. You got to make those quick decisions and actually know all your laws and know everything that you need to know about the job to actually function for the highway patrol or whether it's parole and probation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, till next
Pleasure.
week. We'll bring the dog again, okay?
Yep.
You want to come on the TV again next week? Okay. No? All right. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you later.
Thank you,
okay?
Neil.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Make sure you wave over there. Wave.
See you, Johnny.